What the business is out here on these streets, YouTube? This your boy Clarence coming from Pursuit of Freedom, baby. Hey, just wanted to come on back in here, do a follow-up video on this stock I traded, the trade of last week, ALTM. For the few followers that I do have, the few people watching these videos trying to gain a little bit of education from my journey, you will know that every now and then I try to get back in here, and I'm trying to get back at it, man. I actually closed this position in ALTM in that last video. I talked about where I was going to sell at, but this thing looked like we still may have some climbing, even though the buying has dipped down some from the last 2 days that really made the stock climb. Looking at the dollar volume down at the bottom. We had this red day that turned out to give you a doji candle, a beautiful doji candle. But what I love about this is that what I was just about to point out, oh, hold on, I always try to say TC2000 is the software, baby. I love TC2000. They get mad props, mad support coming from me. I got a daily chart in the middle, 1 minute chart to the left that I usually trade off of. But being that right now I'm in a truck, I'm truck driving, the truck is running, so that's for the noise that you're probably hearing. Anything else coming with these videos, I guess in a couple of the next ones I may have to turn the truck off. But being that I'm in a state that's very cold right now, I got the truck on so that I can have me some warmth. But anyway, looking at the chart, which is truly what I try to trade, I know that in this last video that I did, and matter of fact, right here at 18 minutes and 55 seconds, I began to talk about it. I can't push the play button on this video and let it play one video inside of another video. But I was introducing a swing trading strategy, you know what I mean, that I try to follow, that I try to do every now and then, working from the bottom to the top. And I really try to base it off exactly what you're seeing right where my cursor is now. A candle that looks like that. That's at the bottom of a falling trend. Oh, I'm trying to scroll down when I can't scroll. But let's come on back out to the chart. Where you at? There you go. On a candle that looks like this. I love this candle. I follow this candle single-handedly, especially when it's at the bottom of a bearish trend. Trend that has been falling is not an absolute science though, because the stock started the uptrend and it hit the brakes kind of quickly. Let me see if I can get rid of that. So down here, this very next day, which was a green day, it wasn't a bullish engulfing type day. You had to get the second day where the stock kind of gapped up a tiny percent, not even 1%, but when it opened, it only pushed up 2% total. And then the next day it went up a little bit higher. But you're talking from the absolute bottom of this little short-term trend, only 3 days, 4 days in this trend, you only got 9% gain. But I'll take 9% of my money in 3 days. You know, how many times would you have to do that before you've hit 100% profit? Now this is a tad bit slower growth, but it's a swing of 3 days. So I bought this stock on the 9th this Monday because I was looking for something to trade. And I see that the lead-in trend for more than a year now. I mean, this stock has been falling. Probably a little more than a year. Because the IPO way back here late 2017, it went sideways, wasn't doing nothing for a while. Came into 2019. Right before it hit 2019, it started to get a little bit of volume in the form of selling. It pumped back up a little bit to sell off some more. You know, then it went sideways and it sold off some more. Going sideways, selling off some more, sideways, selling off some more. And it just kind of seems like, I mean, I don't know. I still have not read a single lick of any sort of news on this stock, period. But it looks like, just looking at the chart, especially during this time frame, especially in this time frame back in here, it just seems like this could be insider selling. Being an IPO and it did nothing for over a year. It did nothing but hang out right there at $9-10. stretch that time frame out, looking into that box, a year and a half, it went sideways. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, it looks like, to me, people who were holding the shares for that year and a half just started selling, taking some profits. Somebody came in and bought some, and then somebody else decided to sell their shares. And that could still be in the works. Even though over the course of a full year, this thing has just kind of trended down, trended down, trended down. But I love it when the stock bases out, finds some support, and it starts to climb. But being that I didn't know how long the climb was going to be, relying solely on the chart, I mentioned in this video, I'm going to say that again, because stocks aren't predictable. But, I mean, after looking at about 1,000 charts a night for at least 2 years straight before I kind of had to start pulling back on it. But I'm getting back to looking at charts now. But I seen that the 100 exponential moving average was the next price that the stock could. Oh, I don't hit play. I ain't mean to hit play on that video. But about 1855, in the previous video that I made on the 10th, the day after I purchased the stock, I talked about where I was going to sell. And I love the fact that I sold on the very day that it hit this area. And I ain't got the whistle Dixie to you. You know what I'm saying? So I only bought 400 shares on the 9th at $2.22. I didn't get out at $2.62. I didn't get out at the absolute high or none of that. But I held it for 3 days, $141 gain. It was an $888 exactly position, $888 to over $1,000 in just a few days. I paid 8 cents in commissions. That ain't bad at all. So I made what, 141.36 because they took 8 cents in commission from me. But I love that. You know what I'm saying? And like, I may get back into this thing for a few more days. I honestly would have to say that I do not think it's gonna push all the way up to the 200-day moving average, which would be the next. Because for some strange reason, I got a feeling in my chest that's like look at this big sell here, this big sell day here in October, which really was like 2-3 days combined. But this was a big sell day. $10 million. Looking at my dollar volume, let me just slide my dollar volume up some. Over $11 million in volume. Keep going. That's 11. Okay, so that's $11 million on whatever this day here is sold off of the stock. October the 2nd, $11 million sold out of the stock in that one day. Now I'm gonna try to scroll back and see if I see any other selling days like it. Now the last time we had selling days anywhere near that was, back in April. But I just got a strange feeling that, there may be some insiders that are holding large amounts of shares. So I got out. Now, I mean, what I would merely do is, truthfully being that I want to try to swing trade, unless I'm going to try to get to a point at about 9:30ish where I could take a break. But if I was to do that, then I would just have to have a stock in mind, a few stocks that I would be expecting to look at. But I would just want to get set up, pull up my internet and see what was in play for the day. And it'd be truly trading whatever's hot. Right out of Tim Sykes, look at the big percentage gainers, top percentage gainers, double-digit percentage gainers, and getting involved. But I would spend some nights looking for something like this. You got kind of a bull flag formed up. Perfect buy trigger would have been on this day. And I'm going to show you what a bull flag looks like. Being that the stock had been going sideways for a long time. It pushed up. It absolutely peaked out. And you just run that bad boy down kind of right off the tops. Off this top, off that top. And if I was to go off that top and kind of stretch it out a little bit to where I'm touching the top of that chart. Okay, so off the top of that chart. So this is the level you wanted to buy this stock at about $1.69, $1.70. and rolled this thing up for 69%. You know what I'm saying? I'd be looking for something like that with my support level being right here when it started trending sideways. A dollar, probably about $1.40. But I would spend time flipping through charts to see if I could find something like that in the making. Kind of, sort of in the CFRX. Even though it had a big spike on this day here, once again, I think the 200-day moving average would be the next resistance level if it doesn't fall. As a matter of fact, it pushed up a little bit higher from 43 up to 48 cents. This would be a dangerous play, kind of scary play for me because it is in penny territory. You got a first green day candle here in this ACHV, and I'm just looking at the top percentage gainers on the day. I can flip that and look at the bottom. What of the bottom? Because sometimes something will fall off like this and then to start to creep its way back up. You know what I mean? You got a between where it started its fall and where it completely landed, you got an 80-something% possible gain there. But I would do some reading on that first and kind of try to see why it fell before I put anything into that. But I'll flip through some of these that are hit the bottom. Look at this here. This thing gapped up and took a massive dump. I'm thinking that is a low flow because this is looking like a pure pump. This pump days on top of days of running up. It did go sideways for quite a while. It gapped up to take a massive dump. 30-something% in one day. But sometimes I will scroll through stocks that have fallen to a bottom, especially being that I'm seeing like in this GSUM that there is some support in this area back in October. So, I mean, this could be something to try to catch off of a bounce and get some of that slow growth action moving back up. As a matter of fact, I can come all the way back to the beginning of the year and I'll just bring that support level down. And I actually am going to add this to my range-bound support to resistance watch list because I see lots of support way down there at this 136 area. As a matter of fact, 136, 136, and it's, 153 was the close, and I see it after hours hit 157, back down to 155, but it's already higher the way it closed at. I would want to figure out what that float is and try to look for some more possible growth out of that. And since I'm not doing videos too often, I'm going to let some of these videos run on a little bit. But yeah, sometimes I look at the bottom and I flip through chart by chart and I try to find a trend, something that would tell me to give me a reason to want to do some research and figure out if this stock is worth playing. This Northern Dynasty Minerals, NAK, at 42 cents, I would say this stock is back in play because it has support there in the past. And at same level, it's had a good amount of support. Strictly looking at the daily chart, so I'm going to slide my intraday chart out just to make that bigger. Now I'm going to squeeze this in some because this is the homework right here. This is where you find a stock that could possibly win. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. All right, I'm going to come back to my change. And I'm going to come down to stocks that are about like up 2-3%. Sometimes what I'll do, being that I don't go through as many stocks as I once did, but I will come down to about a full 1%. Any stock that has 1% growth, and then I'll just go up. And I'm looking for, once again, something to get me interested. And when looking at charts, I always would say, man, you want the prettiest of charts. This ain't quite that glamorous type chart. Look at the volume, because this is making me think it's kind of scattered. It's all over the place. You don't got that sexiness to the chart, man. Let me see. I'll find one that's sexy for you. This is another one. This is a direction play. Yang daily China bear times 3. So you got a China bear direction. This here, Nick, 2,000 shares volume here. This actually has good volume. The Yang, 400,000 shares, but the chart still looks a bit sloppy. This chart is starting to look a tad bit better. 1.3 million shares. You see that we got good volume. The stock is at $4, but I see a 1-for-20 split here. I'm seeing some nice run up right off the 50-day moving average. When was this? Back in August. I like that 81% push higher. I love that. And it has a kind of a history of spiking like that. You know what I mean? Right off the 50. Right off the 50-day exponential moving average. Climb for beneath the short-term moving averages to above. So now and it has a history. It went beneath the short-term moving averages, popped up above, nice little spike above the moving averages, then it's creeping back below. So this is something that I kind of would throw on my support to resistance, looking to buy a bottom. My problem is that it'd be hard for me to catch all of the movement. I would have to buy it down here and hope. But it's beneath all of my moving averages. So I don't know what to call support. Support would be way down here at 3 something. But I see that for 2 days, 391 has held that support. And then we got a doji kind of trend reversal type candle on Friday with a deviation in dollar volume. You got a red candle, but you got green dollar volume down here. So this thing might push higher. And I'll scroll up, and I'll just look at some charts, try to find something for a bottom bounce, but I do kind of like that. That might give me a few dollars. I think it's a low float stop because when it jumps, it jumps with some strength. I'm going to add that to range bound, support to resistance, because I love to take 30-something% gain, if it could, but the bounces are not coming all the way back to previous highs. You're getting lower bounces. Finally, it broke trend, but then it got right back into its downtrend. So that's something that I would be careful with. But if it did start to make a move or just even give you a green day, especially being that the last day was buying volume, so it might push up a little bit, but who knows how much. All right, so the MGTI, that's kind of a Bitcoin sympathy play. I like first green day type plays, and we've had 2 green days. Don't know how far it'll go, but at least to the last high, you got 14%. From where it's at right now to the absolute high, the high on this day, and I'll just go from right back over to that high. You got 15% possible gain there. This is looking a smidge bit better. Okay, yeah, so I got a much better range I can play with. Matter of fact, I'll move that up to the top of this range, and I'll bring my yellow support right to the bottom on this day. I got a pin bar type candle, YVR, 199,000, right at $2 that's a good area. My guess is that the float on this thing ain't gonna be too high. I see that the selling has been falling off. I kind of like that. Had a big sell day there, but the selling pressure has been falling off. So this will definitely go on to that. I could make a quick note about it, but I stopped making notes a while ago because somebody created this software that could be reading your notes, stealing your ideas or whatever. So we'll put that in range bound. I might actually. I used to have a stalking list, being that I'm not trading anything except for in phase that's on this page. I need to do another in phase. YVR. That is YVR. So I'm gonna put YVR over here. I like that. I like the range that it has. I mean, just looking at the price from where it's at right now to the top of this range, man, 70-something%, $1.50-something. Slow growth. If it gets some buying in, being that the selling pressure dropped it off pretty quickly, this might be the next stop that I go ahead on and just slide a couple dollars in and wait to see if it grows. But I'm definitely gonna get some confirmation before I go to buy. I like that it hit this support down here. It had a few days where it stayed above at least 196, where it's closed above 196. So 196 would be the absolute sell signal. That'll be my get out. And I would just say that earlier. I will put my line in the sand there already. 190, the 194, 196 area. That's where I would sell this position if I was to buy in it. If it falls beneath this 194, I will leave it alone because I don't know how far it's going to continue to fall. Not trying to make this video too long. The CIFS, I made 100% off this here chart, off this stock earlier in the year. It made like a double move where it did almost the same thing. 2 weekends in a row. I just captured a powerful move in this stock and made and doubled my account, doubled my position that I had. So just to see it climbing above my short-term moving averages, it's got 25% from where it's at now back up to the 100-day exponential moving average. So I might watch this one. And it was up 10% on the day. So I'm just working my way up. I'm seeing some stocks that I like. So I'll make a small little possible swing trade list. I don't know. I like a stock that can explode like this. Stock that can jump a total of 130 something percent. It closed 70 something percent higher. That next day it pushed up. I mean, it gave you a 100% move in 3 days. So a stock like this, where is that at? This is this is just 1%. Man, so that's a stock. That's a stock way down there. You got mad selling volume in it. Well, not mad, but like it's a decent number. It's a $5 stock. That doesn't scare me none. It's 1.9%, so I passed it. 1.90. Okay. 2 million on the float. So if this thing gets some buying to come in, man, this thing could push pretty high. I like when I got a low float stock that's and it's holding this level. I'm going to bring this up. Right at 515 was the buy trigger, so I'm going to get at a buy trigger sign at about 515. If it dips beneath that, that flips that completely to a sell signal. You know what I'm saying? It flips that completely to a sell signal. And this is just me on the hunt. Just me on the hunt. This stock has kind of been playing in the range, but it looks kind of as if this is a gold play. I might just throw some money at gold just to do it because I believe that gold is going to trend higher. I like the range on this. This is a long-term play. So that'd be something that I would buy and then just forget about it. Just kind of just buy it and hold it. Because I believe gold is going to be on the uptrend, especially with fiat currency globally beginning to weaken. I'm just trying to speed up my search. This ENZ I'm kind of liking, and I'll tell you why. I see a support level back here. What is that? Biochem, Incorporated Healthcare Sector, Diagnostics, and Research. I see it fell to this level once before, and then it climbed over the course of a month and a half, 63%. I don't mind at all. And then it came back somewhere near this same level, and then it climbed for 21 days, 43%. I like that it has some decently strong climbs over a matter of some days. Now that's a trend. It has a trend of falling off for a while and then pushing back higher, falling beneath the short-term moving averages and then climbing back above it. So this is something that I definitely want to watch. And I'm just going to type in SUP, and that'll bring up my perfect support to resistance. This is the perfect support to resistance type play. Look at its range. You see 2017, 2018, 2017, July, it climbed, it topped out. This is something that makes me go back and look even further. Now, these are years down here because I'm looking at a weekly chart. On this chart, each candle represents a week. So from mid 2017 all the way through 2018, the entire year of 2018, the stock has fallen off. The entire year of 2019, the stock has gone sideways. And even on the weekly chart, about around this 250-ish area, it looks to be support. So I mean, I'm really giving you my analysis. I'm really giving you my thoughts. I'm really giving you my hunt. This is what I do when I'm looking for stocks. I love the fact that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Because this is a weekly chart now. 7 straight weeks this stock uptrended at the beginning of January, at the end of 2018, and then to begin 2019, it just climbed. And then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks, right off of this about $2.50 area. So this might, and then I look at today's, the last day's candle, the last week's candle. Really more, yeah, the last week's candle. It had a nice push higher, saying that there was some buying in there that week, but it ended up selling back down. So this is something that I will watch. This is something that I will watch. I will watch for it. Let me go back to my daily. We got a little bit of buying in there. It has some abnormally large selling, because I can look at my selling pressure, my selling volume, and the selling volume has been down here around like about $300,000, $350,000 a day. It's been selling off when it does sell. But you had some days where it got up over 4, and that was a doji candle. And you had another day where you had a gap down, and then it continued to sell for a few days. So I mean, I will watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and it's so many stocks to go through. So at some point, you just have to make a choice. Just have to make a choice. This is a nice range bound stock in itself here too. $8 was the buy. It's a slower climb, but there's always money to be made out here. Get that bad boy too many times. Recent IPO stocks, man. Some of these IPOs, when they get to climbing beautifully. Where is this stock? Lower float, not quite a low, but look at that, just 100,000 shares. It's $21 stocks. Applied Therapeutics. It's uptrending. This is something where you can just jump right into the trend and capture a little tiny piece of that growth from the bottom, where it's at right now, to where it set its last highs. You can get 25% of your money. $5.24, 25%. And you had some decent buying coming in. Only 100,000 shares. So this is a stock that's kind of climbing on the low. I love that. Now this, I could just go ahead on and drop my trend line. Draw my trend line right in there. This thing is trending higher. That gives me a buy signal. That's about as simple as it gets right there. And then I can also throw a couple flags in here. Right off of these highs, these B spikes. And I could also throw another flag in here, kind of sort of right off the current spikes. There ain't no telling how long it can stretch. It can stretch even longer. It can go further. But just starting that right off the spikes. It pushes all the way down to it tells you where to buy. And it's funny that it kind of dips beneath the short-term moving averages and then climbs back up. So the shorter-term moving averages is about a good area to buy. So down here, like right at $20 would be a good area to buy for right now. But I'm liking this stock. I got to flag that chart. And I'm adding this to my uptrending list. My uptrending list is just a list that I mean, I can throw some money in and it'll grow me money. It'll grow me money as long as the trend holds. Now, the line that you got drawn in the sand is your sale point. At any time, if you buy this stock and the price dips beneath this line, sell it. It's that difficult or that simple. You know what I'm saying? and that's what I would do. All right, I've been yapping for a long time. It's another session in here, about 30 minutes, and that's about where I want to cut off. Uh, Up, and I'm glad E-Trade has logged me out. But at ALTM, I locked in $141 gained in a matter of 3 days. I think that was like 16, 17% growth. I'll take 16, 17%. When is your big account grown 16% in a week? And then I find me another stop. Today's Sunday. So I'm honestly looking for a stop tonight to try to get me some play in tomorrow. About around the time of the market open, I don't really care where I'm at. I'm going to hit the brakes. Try to get up a little early. If I can get my day started about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I should be able to stop about 9:30 and purchase me a stop. And just give it a little bit of time, let it grow. This is looking good here. I take 20 something percent growth in a few days if it took that long. I'm just worried because it looks like it could take a few weeks or a few months. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if it does, it does. You know, I got to work and get money up, and I'm finna be feeding this account a tad bit because my current mission in life is to get over the PDT rule, and then I can possibly step into the trading shoes and get the trading as my main source of income. Hey, y'all know what this is. I'm gonna track this journey. Hopefully, I can teach somebody something. I can help people learn something. I can help people get out here and grow your own money. This is Pursuit of Freedom. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get back at it, get back on the grind. But this is Pursuit of Freedom. Holla at you.